Welcome to the pilot episode of Deeper Things. Right after the break, we're going to talk a little bit about why a Presbyterian pastor from Northwest Iowa would start a YouTube channel. And even more so than that, we're going to talk about why you might want to be part of this new YouTube community as we explore some of the deeper questions of life and as we are inspired to show up and be the best people that we can possibly be. Let's start from the beginning. Who am I? My name is Michael Gewecke. I was born in central Minnesota. I went to Oral Roberts University where I studied theology, and then from there I went to Princeton Seminary where I received a Master's of Divinity. From there I went to serve a congregation in Northwest Iowa. I've been there for nearly 8 years now, and for about 10 years I've been part of the team at Smart Church Project. They're a team that has helped people literally all around the country, from pastors to business leaders to churches to nonprofits to denominations, think about how they can utilize digital technologies to reach out and to accomplish their mission in the world. The short version of that is that I've had the privilege of getting to sit at lots of different kinds of tables throughout the years. Tables that were surrounded by some really smart and influential people who were trying to figure out ways that we could encourage people to ask life's deeper questions, to encourage and inspire people to be the best kind of people that they could be, even in the virtual space. It would be surprising to you that to each and every one of those people, I was encouraging. I said, yes, absolutely. We know there are many online communities where that very thing happens, where people are engaged with the deep and meaningful questions of life, and where they're inspired to grow into the kind of people that they were born to be. Yet, if I'm going to confess to you today that though I've been an advocate for that for years, as I've surveyed my life, I realized that I've not been a part of making one of those communities flourish. Take this YouTube channel, for instance. I've been thinking for years that YouTube would be an amazing place to go, to have a community of people asking some really deep and meaningful questions and engaging those questions in a way that they could be inspired to live their best life. And yet I've never done anything to make it happen. So in the midst of 2020, I've been asking the question, Michael, why haven't you engaged in these conversations? Why haven't you found these communities? And the honest truth is, as I have reflected upon my time in these places, I've realized that the louder and louder the world has gotten, the less and less I felt compelled to say something. It feels like there's so many opinions being spouted in so many different directions. There's so much information that's just outright wrong. It has made me think, well, what might I have to add in the midst of that conversation? Maybe that's where you find yourself as well. Maybe you've watched as the loudest people in the room have just said more and more and more, and you haven't felt compelled to keep adding to the noise. Maybe you've watched as people who have gone down rabbit holes, who have said things that they would later regret, or in some cases said things that they should regret and haven't. And maybe you just decide, that's not for me. Virtual stuff, that's not a place where thoughtful and engaged community can happen. Maybe you're just tired of the division. Maybe you're sick of misinformation. Maybe you refuse to pick a team and you just find yourself in a position of not knowing what place you might find deeper and more meaningful conversation. If that's you, let me make a promise to you. I don't know exactly what this channel is going to look like or exactly how the videos are going to play out. In fact, I'm going to rely upon the community here to help shape the best format to have real, meaningful, and deep questions in the virtual space. But what I can say is that I promise you that these videos will be short. They'll respect your time, but yet they will engage deep and meaningful conversations. I believe that this can be a home for people who appreciate mystery, who understand that life is bigger than just a simple hashtag, and that it can't be reduced to simple ideas and anecdotes. We'll address all of those parts of life that are deep and meaningful: our values, our relationships, our faith, how technology is impacting all of those things. And ultimately, we will seek to not only know more about ourselves and about our world, but be inspired to show up and be different. This channel isn't for everyone. I understand that. But If you found this video, if you made it this far into it, then there's a good chance that you're exactly the kind of person who will find a home in this place. Hit that subscribe button. In YouTube, that's the way that we begin to fashion and form this community, to invite others who are like-minded to be part of the conversation. If your values and your relationships and your faith and the way that technology plays into all of this, if these things matter to you, then this is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the community. Go one step further, hit the little bell icon, and when these videos come out, you'll be notified immediately to jump in and to join the conversations that are happening. Friends, this is the pilot video. This is me showing up. The question is, will you show up too? Will you join? Will you hit the subscribe button? Will you like this video? Will you become a person invested in these deeper questions and more meaningful conversations? That we'll learn more about ourselves and our world, and I think even more so, I hope that we will be inspired to become the kind of people who reflect the best that we were called and created to be. Here we are. We stand at the crossroads. Will you be part of this community? Will you show up and help us engage the deeper questions of life? I hope so. See you in the next episode of Deeper Things.